here on this channel. The topic today will be the EACTA Fellowship Program with the title EACTA Fellowship More Than an Educational Campus. A very warm welcome from me. My name is Jan Schreiber. I am the local program director of the EACTA Fellowship in Maastricht here in the Netherlands. And I'm sitting here also on behalf of my colleague Gabor Erdoes from Bern in Switzerland, who unfortunately cannot participate in this call due to some issues. So what's the topic of tonight? By the end of this webinar, you will be able to better understand some organizational issues which might be important, especially for non-European, non-EU fellows, and you will learn about different experiences from different countries. We will talk about the education, the training of non-technical skills, especially about human factors and team leading and the role of teamwork during the fellowship. And you will learn about how to maximize your improvement during a fellowship program by listening to a personal experience. So just organizational issues before we will start. If you have any questions, please use the question and answer chat box. So we will try to answer all questions at the end of the 4 talks. We will have 4 excellent speakers tonight with 4 talks, but we will do the question and answer round at the end of this webinar. And I would like to notify you that if we cannot answer every question, due to reasons of time, for example, we'll post the answers on the EACTA website and via social media. But now we'll start with our first speaker. Our first speaker is Dr. Anna-Flo Forner from Leipzig in Germany. She is local program director of the EACTA Fellowship in Leipzig at Leipzig Heart Center. And she will talk about important organizational issues for non-EU fellows from the perspective of a program director. Anna-Flo, please, your talk.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Anna-Flo, and I am co-director of the fellowship program in Heart Center Leipzig in Germany. In my lecture, I'm going to talk to you about our experience with the organizational problems facing us and our fellows who come from non-EU countries. The journey begins when an anesthesiologist is particularly interested in cardiothoracic anesthesia, one of the subspecializations of anesthesia that requires special training. The expertise necessary to perform anesthesia in cardiothoracic surgery depends not only on personal training, but on many other factors, such as epidemiology of cardiac and thoracic disease, surgical needs and limitations, availability of material, technology, and personal resources. All these factors can influence the extent of knowledge and the amount and type of skills acquired during the training, and might limit the expertise acquired. For many cardiothoracic anesthesiologists who wish to expand their expertise, to participate in a cardiothoracic anesthesia specialization program abroad is a dream. Going abroad for work offers a personal and career opportunity that it's very appealing and promising, but at the same time, it's not an easy way. One is going to be confronted with a lot of unexpected difficulties and has to deal with the challenge of getting out of one's comfort zone. The application process is on one hand very exciting and full of great expectations and hopes. On the other hand, it can be exhausting and sometimes even frustrating. Once a decision to go abroad for specialization is made, it's important to choose a center to fulfill the expectations. Nowadays, EACTA is offering a structured fellowship program to provide the opportunity to participate in a comprehensive training in cardiothoracic and vascular anesthesia, in centers where anesthesiologists are exposed not only to a wide variety of pathologies, but also to the newest surgical procedures, technologies, and resources. The possibility to take part in such an interesting training programs attracts anesthesiologists from all over the world. EACTA is offering the fellowship in different European countries and is planning to expand the program to non-European countries like Brazil. But not all the centers offer exactly the same training. There are centers that offer a comprehensive overview of cardiothoracic and vascular anesthesia, and other centers that are more focused on only cardiac or cardiovascular anesthesia. There are centers with a high volume of cases that have a very dynamic environment, and consequently the work is harder. That can be seen as a disadvantage or as unnecessary. There are also small centers, more comfortable, but with exposition to fewer cases. So it is important the applicant gathers enough information in order to choose the center that fulfills the goals of his or her career and that suits his or her expectations. Because the fellowship is offered in different countries, an important point to pay special attention is the spoken language of the hosting country. The applicant has to contact the hosting center to get more information. The program director plays in this step a dual role. On one hand, the program director has to provide the information for the applicant in an objective way, answering the applicant's question regarding the fellowship, informing the applicant about the organizational issues, case volume and variation, teaching process, optional additional training such as pediatrics or the ICU, and the possibility of doing research. The information shall include the working load, remuneration, and a detailed formalities process. On the other hand, the program director, through asking questions, must estimate the applicant's experience in anesthesia and in the field of cardiothoracic anesthesia and his or her expectations of the program, and have to gather enough information as to decide if the applicant meets the requirements to receive the position and is going to fit in the department. The best way to achieve these goals is that the applicant visits the center to get a real view of the department and the environment. In addition to a formal interview with the director, the applicant gets the opportunity to meet the current fellows, the other anesthesiologists, surgeons, and nurses of the team. The problem is that for a foreign applicant, it is usually difficult to come for a visit, and that's why we conduct a first contact Skype interview. With the information gathered during the interview, the CV, and recommendation letters, we have to decide if the candidate is suitable for the position. At the same time, the applicant must decide if the position is suitable for him or her. If there is an agreement of both sides, for those applicants unfamiliar with the local language, the process begins with learning the language. In Germany, the level of language required to begin the administrative process is B2 with an official certificate, and a C1 medical level is required to receive a working permit. The specific exam is performed by the medical association. In our experience, the time required from knowing just a little bit of German to the B2 level is variable, but it takes at least 6 to 8 months if one can invest enough time, although most of the applicants need at least 2 years. From our point of view, this is the most unpredictable phase of the whole process. Actually, the longer the candidate needs to learn the language, the more likely that the candidate quits. So it's important for the fellowship organization to maintain a closer contact with the applicants who are learning the language in order to follow up the process. There is an official list of documents to be sent to the provincial authorities. All documents must be in original and certified translated. Depending on the country of origin, it can take a long time to accomplish the formalities, so it must not be left for the last moment. It is important the applicant complete all the formalities during the period of language learning. As soon as the applicant obtains a B2 certificate, the hospital can offer him or her a conditional position. It is conditional because the employment permit can only be given after passing the C1 medical examination. All the documents, including the B2 certificate and the job offer, have to be sent to the provincial authorities to be checked. The provincial authorities register the applicant in the medical association for the C1 medical language exam. With the appointment from the medical association, the applicant can apply to get the visa to travel to the country in order to take the exam. And it's important to mention that this visa will be issued only for the exam and not for work in the country. After passing the exam, the medical association sends the result to the provincial authorities to proceed with the issue of employment permission. All that process can find a lot of obstacles in all the steps.